Hey, welcome back to Unbelieving Scum. And this is the Mobile Secular Billboard. You betcha. 15 years of spreading the love. That's about right. Um, that's a picture of my cheapo car and my secular bumper stickers. It's the second car that I've had set up like this. I've been doing this probably 15 years or more. I've been a rolling billboard for secular stuff. And you gotta love it. I mean, for years now, I pull up at a stop sign or a stoplight, and I see people behind me peering over the dashboard, checking it out. And a lot of times they take photos. They're real interested, you know. So it's pretty cool, especially the van full of families on a Sunday morning, especially when I was teaching in Kentucky, and I drive around, go to Walmart on Sunday morning, go grocery shopping or something, and the van full of very nerdy-looking, dressed-up people, families going to church, and they're just shaking their heads. I had one woman one time actually driving down to Kentucky, and she pulled alongside of me. It had the window down, summer out, and it was not a very fast speed zone, and she, goes, "I'll pray for you," except she had this horrible look on her face. I really wasn't sure exactly where she was praying for me to wind up. It was kind of questionable on that one. So anyways, kind of cold here. So here's the whole car, right? And we'll take the bumper stickers one at a time, shall we? I got a few of them behind me here. We'll go from left to right and talk about each one a little bit. This is kind of unscripted, more unscripted than usual today. So the first one has got a revelation for you. There is no such thing. There is no Holy Scripture. There are no revelations from some God, either directly or through some prophet or, scribe or whatever. It's all nonsense. It's all made up. Nobody's God ever showed up. Nobody's ever been able to prove a revelation. Oh, no, no, no. Our book is really revealed by the only God. These guys over there, that's false blasphemy or incomplete or something. Like the Muslims, where they're the final revelation from God, and that's it. Everything else is false. Of course, till the Mormons came along and said, no, 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 we're adding on to the Bible. We got new revelations through this con man in upstate New York, the Trump of his day, right? We'll talk about Mormonism someday. So there are no revelations. It's nonsense, complete. Next one is misogyny, homophobia, and science denial. All go away when religion does, and man, that's the truth. Try and find a source of any of those things from non-believers. Try and find a source of homophobia, for example. Where's the atheist against gays, right? Atheists hate fags, No. Anybody who's a non-believer usually has gotten to their non-belief through rational thinking, through using their normal human empathy, they study science. And no, you're not going to have any non-believers, atheists, agnostics, freethinkers, whatever you want to call them, who are going to be homophobic. They know it's all old religious nonsense that goes back 1,000, 2,000 years. It's crap. Okay? Misogyny, too, that women aren't equal, women aren't, should have the same rights and mobility as men. That kind of restriction only comes out of religion. And they're all very patriarchal in some degree. Even, wonderful Buddhism that is so sweet and so mild. Bullshit. It's as patriarchal as any other religion. You have Buddhist priests and monks, but the women monks are kind of second-class citizens. There's some sects that feel that the Buddha said that women can't reach nirvana, on and on. Same nonsense. Anyways, science denial, one source, religious thinking. Whether it's Islam or Christianity, pushing creationism, or other types of science denial, all comes pouring out of religion. Next sticker is one of my favorites, and I think I have it. Oh yeah, I got it right here. Right? Unbelieving scum. And, here's the shirt. Hope you can see it. Right? Okay, I'll stand up. There it is. Unbelieving scum. A kid asked me when I was wearing this shirt when I was teaching in Kentucky, he said, Dr. Z, what's that, what's unbelieving scum all about? And I thought about it for a minute and I said, pride. Um, I wear it with pride that I don't buy into the nonsense that various cultures have taught their children that do nothing but repress us and make us believe in delusions and destroy our normal human empathy and our normal critical thinking skills. So I'm proud to be unbelieving scum. That's why I use this term. And also the second meaning is I'm destined to burn in the hell of dozens of religions. I have a whole episode here on that, but I'm an ex-Catholic. My soul is black. I'm in a state of mortal sin if I don't do last rites or, prayer for the sick or whatever they call it now, extreme unction. They've changed the name. I'm going to burn in hell forever. I'm going to burn in the Christian God Yahweh's hell, right? And then all of us on the planet, there's about 1.5 billion Muslims, but the rest of us, 6.5 billion or more of us, are non-Muslims, okay? Muslims are taught to believe that we're all born Muslim, and you should convert back to Islam if you're not Islamic right now. Take an Arabic name to recognition of the fact that you were born Muslim, and if you don't, if you ignore your whole adult life and don't submit to the will of Allah, you're going to burn in Allah's hell. I mean, we're all unbelieving scum in all kinds of religions. Okay, next one, the defenders of the New Enlightenment. Well, got a nice picture of my website there. I've been doing dispatches from the New Enlightenment, wearedone.org, for about a decade now, and probably got close to 500 articles. I got to be really close now. Secular and science topics of all kinds. And the key thing about this image here is that all the different mythologies you see going back to the Egyptian Book of the Dead and the Epic of Gilgamesh, Greek and Roman mythology, all the things that you normally think of are on the mythology shelf. Well, there's two other books that really belong there, especially the Holy Bible and the Quran, right? Hebrew and Arabic mythology, because that's all they are. They're not real, they're not revealed truths, they're not, they're just through conquest mostly. They happen to be the two biggest religions on earth. Then I've got Norse mythology, and then more recent mythology, I've got the Book of Mormon and Scientology, so 19th century mythology, and then 20th century mythology, Scientology. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so that's defenders of the New Enlightenment. We are done. We are done with religion. Next one. Everybody else's prophets heard voices in their heads, but yours really talked to God. Yeah, right. That claim is so ridiculously silly, it should be tossed out right here in the 21st century. It's almost beyond ridiculous. And one of the things I really talk about, and it's a subtitle to my first book, I'm working on the second one, and that is information does kill religion. The more you learn about a religion, where it was written, when it was written, who it wrote it, how it got here, all the times it's changed and been altered, and all the different sects within it, the more you learn about a religion, it's like impossible to believe in it. It's just silly. You realize how silly and how purely imaginative, or how fantastical, can't think of the right word, how much of a fantasy it all is. And then if you live without religion, you find out really quickly that, gee, I don't need it. I can be a good, honest, empathetic human being. I can love my kids, not murder people, not rape, try and be a good citizen, pay my taxes, donate blood, help charity, do charity, whatever, right? You can be all that easier without religion. And the more you learn about religions, the sillier, and the fact that they're all contrived and made up, and religions are just old ways of explaining the world that never worked, and full of old silly rules of ancient date. Thank you, Frank Zappa. To help you all relate, something like that. the more you learn about a religion, it really kills your ability to believe in it. There's an old saw among us, the atheists, that, you want to make an atheist? Read the Bible. Read the whole thing. And I'm told from organizations like the ex-Muslims of North America, and Maryam Namazi and others, that it works the same way for the Quran. You want to make an atheist? Read Scripture. Read the Quran. Read the Pali Canon. Read the Bible. And you'll realize how silly and mythologic it all is. Last but not least, if you are worried about burning in someone's hell, think of religion. I think I got it sitting up there too. Oh, yeah, I do. And you would think in the 21st century by now that ridiculous thinking, it should be gone by now. Really? You're going to condemn other peoples to burn in some omnipotent prick's fiery torture chamber for eternity because they don't believe what you do. Or they do believe what you do, but they're doing it wrong. They're the wrong sect. Just asinine. Okay? What's interesting about hell, too, is nobody ever claims to have gone there and come back. You have all kinds of stories of people that have near-death experiences. And, about 90% of people don't have near-death experiences when they die on the operating table and they're revived. But about 10% do. And oftentimes they see the light and other imagery, which is probably just the brain shutting off or coming back on. And many of the Christians that come back say, I went to heaven. I went to heaven. I saw heaven. And they write whole books about it, and they're absolutely adamant about it, and blah, blah, blah. And of course, it's always the religious imagery of the religion they belong to. Nobody ever comes back and goes, I'm a Christian, but I went to heaven and I saw Allah's presence was there, and I saw Muhammad chatting with Adam and St. Peter and stuff. And no Christian ever comes back with that. They always talk about, Christian heaven, right? What's wild is nobody ever goes to hell. Nobody ever goes and comes back and says, I died and I went to hell. I saw the fiery pit. I saw the guy with the forked stick and I made it back and I'm going to be a good person because I don't want to go there. Nobody does that. No, nobody does that. They write books about, I've been to heaven and I saw heaven and righteousness. They don't write books about going to hell. It's pretty well. Okay, so I've been driving around like this for a good 15 years, just trying to spread the love. And I do mean spread the love. I don't mean it 100% facetiously. I mean religions are nonsense. And not just the delusion part that sets people up to believe in QAnon and Robert F. Kennedy type bullshit. Anti-vax crap, anti-science, right? Misogyny, homophobia. Religions divide us terribly into these arbitrary groups around the world that are just as silly as nationalism. It's ideologies that kill people. Religion, political, nationalistic ideologies. As soon as you put some ideology above human rights and human flourishing, that's when people get hurt, they get discriminated against, they end up dying, etc. Just look at what's going on in the Middle East right now. Tell me religion isn't a huge part of it. If you could take religion out of the equation, if you completely eliminate it, how much that situation could be negotiable. Let's just leave it that way. So anyways, I've been driving around like this for almost 15 years, purposely just to spread the secular word. The sooner we get rid of religion, the better. I end my dispatches, posts with end religion now. The sooner people get away from religion and adopt just a normal human empathy and realize we are one species and we could be one tribe if we dumped religion and other political and nationalistic ideologies. But religion's a big one, and it's got to go. So I hope you liked this podcast. I hate that word. I hope you like this YouTube channel episode, because it's not a fucking podcast. And please subscribe if you do like what you see. Please go to Patreon and help support this work. This is part of my regular income besides teaching at a community college, which is like working at Walmart. And yeah, hope to see you next.